Kane or Lewandowski?
I think you've got to respect both footballers. This one's a tough one because Lewandowski, the goals he scored for Bayern Munich, Poland's probably best ever player. Yeah, it's a tough one, but it's got to back Kane. You've got to back your own, haven't you?
You're doing it again, Gabby.
You've got to back your own, haven't you? I mean, we've got to back our captain, England captain, and just the way Kane plays. I mean, look at that season, the amount of goals he scored, assists. So I'm just going to pick Lewandowski with Kane by a little bit.
But the criticism, of course, for Harry Kane will be that he doesn't do it in the big moments, in the finals. What's the answer to that, do you think?
No, that's fair enough. I think
compared to Lewandowski, who does.
Yeah, 100%. He does it in finals, but Lewandowski's in a Bayern Munich team, which has been unreal since I can remember. I mean, when he first started, Ribery, Robben, do you know what I mean? And the change then with Gnabry, Sane. So you've got to look at teams as well, what teams they played in. Like, we just heard a clip there, Jason Cundy. If Kane had played in Manchester United's team, imagine what he would have won over the last 10 years or when Manchester United were on top. So you've got to look at that. So I've just got to back your own striker, Harry Kane.
Yeah, and when he puts it like that, Ali, I don't mind that.
Don't mind it at all?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to get slated today then, Ali.
No, listen, well within your reach to back your own, mate, 100%.
So you were saying earlier on that you'd have Lewandowski up front, Ali, but are the boys right? When you look at what Harry Kane can do and how talented he is, if you picked him up, put him in a different team, perhaps a Manchester United, even a Man City or something, you sit there and think, gosh, what could he have won?
Yeah, I mean, it was really interesting. I was listening last night to Jason and Jamie having the argument stroke discussion about Rooney and Kane and who was best and who could do this and who could do the next thing. And effectively, you know what it's like? Because there's no right or wrong to these opinions, really, because we're talking about quality. Those two guys are quality. Lewandowski and Kane are absolutely quality. And it is interesting. I don't have any doubts that if Harry Kane had been playing with a Manchester United and a Manchester City, he would be scoring goals and winning things. Just the unfortunate thing for Harry Kane and indeed Spurs are that he's playing at a team, and although he's scoring and creating these assists, they're not winning things. That's the only difference. I
think there was a game last season, Ali, when they played Newcastle away, and he'd scored 2 in a game, I think, and they drew the game 2-2. And just see his body language after the game, Harry Kane, of like, come on, I've done my bit. Any chance? Have a clean sheet and we win the game. You know, like, he just looks fed up, doesn't he, in some games? Like, come on, give me a hand here, not just me and Son carrying the team.
I just think he might just have missed the boat in terms of the move to the club where he would go and win cups and leagues. You know, it might not be the case. He might go maybe next summer or whatever, but I'm not sure. And unfortunately, and I might be wrong, Gab, but I don't see Spurs all of a sudden turning into a team that are going to win things.
It's just horrible as well, isn't it, for Kane? Because he could be one in 15 years' time. You look back and you're like, which striker is the Premier League all-time goal scorer but didn't win anything? Do you know, like, it could be a quiz question, couldn't it, Ali? He deserves to have won something.
He's probably the only man capable of catching Al. You know what I mean? I mean, Alan's record's unbelievable, Gab, isn't it, when you think about it? But and it would be some achievement, but you wouldn't rule it out, I tell you.
Let's talk about some of the other players tonight that might be able to shine. Jack Grealish, we saw what a difference he made when he came off the bench in the last game. Brilliant the game before as well. How do you feel about the way that he's performed so far?
I think he's done well. I think the more you play with better players with England, you know, you're going to get a relationship with them. You see when he comes on, he's got a relationship with Harry Kane, with the rest of the team, you know, Mason Mount as well. And what I just like about this England squad, Laura and Ali, is that they all look like really close mates. You know, it doesn't matter if you're playing, if Liverpool, Man United, in my day, be like, okay, we can't talk to them, they're rivals. But they're all good mates and like will play for each other and play the right pass for each other. It's not about who scores. So for me, like, it's exciting times for an England fan.
Ali, do you think that matters anymore? Because if you ask some of the older generation of pundits, of course, that are going to sit in the studios, they're going to say, I don't like that. I don't like that they're friends, that they're cuddling in the tunnel when they're playing on opposite teams in the Premier League. Do you think it's important anymore?
Not as important as the point Gabby makes, that your international teams get a club's side feel about it. That's the most important thing. And I said it earlier on, Gab, I couldn't agree with you more. it just looks as though the England boys absolutely love being in and around the England squad. They all got it on so well. You listen to guys like you know, Grealish and Cody, all these guys, and they're just delighted to be there, and that's fantastic. If you're Gareth Southgate and you've created that atmosphere, listen, of course it doesn't guarantee success, but I tell you what, it doesn't half help.
Yeah,
what was it like with you, Ali, in the Scotland squad?
Do you know
with the
something?
Celtic players? Was it okay?
Aye, absolutely, Gab, and I understand the question coming to us, and I look at the history with the Liverpool guys, the Manchester United guys, and all that. But our boys, to a man, always got on well. We'd sit at dinner table. I'd sit with Paul McStay and Grant and John Collins and all the boys, and the Aberdeen lads, Willie and Big Alec would sit. There was never any problems, anything but. We all got on great, and then we'd kick lumps at each other on a Saturday.
Nothing wrong with that.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.